Hello, it is Thursday, April 13th, 2023. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday crossword today, which means we might have some sort of interesting, intricate, or surprising theme, we can only hope. And today's interesting, intricate, or surprising edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Laura Sexton, Victoria Rajishka, Kathleen Quinn, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support sustaining this channel, keeping the whole thing going. I really do appreciate it. It is a huge help. And thank you if you are a patron of this channel of any standing or amount. And if you'd like to become a patron and contribute to this channel's ongoing sustainability, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field. And as a benefactor, of course, you get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. Oh, and as a benefactor, you get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug. And as a backer at any level, you get all those videos that I just mentioned as well. So do check that out if you're interested, if you'd like to support the channel. And please do also subscribe to the YouTube channel directly if you've not yet gotten around to that. That's a big help as well in terms of making the channel more likely to be recommended by YouTube and thus found by more people. And finally, you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that as well. Nice, friendly chat community. So, all that said, let's get on to today's crossword. This is a debut construction. We've had quite a few of those recently by Robin Yu. First puzzle to his name, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. See what's in store for us today. One side of a sheet. Well, I guess this isn't a sort of book folio verso recto thing. I'm not sure what it is. I guess maybe the page to double one side of a sheet is the page, maybe. I'm not sure. Blank man. I don't know. I'm not sure what that's looking for. Hartsfield-Jackson Airport Code. What is that? Is that Atlanta, maybe? Atlanta-Hartsfield? I mean, that sort of sounds familiar, but I'm not actually certain at all. One-time auto replaced by the Chevrolet Aveo. What on... These are some very specific clues. I do not know what this is. I don't even know where to begin guessing. Moderates or moderates. It could be a verb or a noun. But I don't know. Okay, well, that wasn't very helpful, was it? Ending with centi or milli. Centipede or millipede. Those are both insects. Let's try this. Adobe file suffix could be a PDF portable document format. In this case, it's being associated with Adobe Acrobat Reader. God of fertility. And yet, I can't see what this is immediately. Sci-fi cult classic of 1974, Dark Star, which I think was written by Dan Bannon. I think that's the answer. I've seen that, I think. Los Angeles neighborhood whose name means oak in Spanish. El something, probably? Oak. I don't know. I don't know how to say oak in Spanish. Made a fast break after breakfast, say. I don't know. Dangerously near. And that's related to our theme here because we're being pointed to a revealer which says, not enough and without the urgency to make a difference. Or a literal hint to 1830, 38, and 48 across. Is it a day late and $1 short? I don't think so. That I wouldn't really describe that as not enough and without the urgency. Well, maybe it is. In the opposite order, I suppose. I think it's too long, though. Yeah, it's much too long. All right. Well, what is it? I don't know. It'll be so obvious when I see it, but I'm not sure yet. Playlet. A skit, a short play, essentially a little bit of dramatic kind of performance. Los Angeles neighborhood, right? Encino, maybe? Is that something? Or Encino? I don't know. And yet, in a text, On the other hand, you might say, in texting abbreviation, one who eschews all pop culture say could potentially be a snob. The say meaning this doesn't need to be exactly that thing, but it could be an example of it. Like a controversial political issue, maybe. And it's an example of this thing, which is something that means not enough and without the urgency to make a difference. And whatever that means points to this somehow. But I'm still not immediately seeing it. Romantic music genre originating in the Dominican Republic. This has been a very challenging start for me so far. Branch. Sort through. Sift through. Or page through even, if this one's not page. Sort through. Simple chord, a triad. So a triad is a 3-note chord. It's a very sort of common, ordinary type of chord musically. Secure in a way. And Eritrea's capital. What is the capital of Eritrea? I'm constantly at a loss throughout this puzzle. Mob member. A gangster or something like that? Is that what we're looking for? Or a member of a mob in a maybe a more casual sense, a rioter maybe, so not organized crime, but just sort of a mob of people, perhaps. Secure in a way. Oh, more, a ship. To secure at a pier or something like that. The A of AFib. Atrial defibrillator or something like atrial fibrillation, something. I don't know. It'll be sort of something like that. Is this Asmara, Eritrea's capital? Branch. Oh, an arm, as in an arm of a company, a branch of a company, that sort of thing. Take over, take over, question mark. Regain? Not sure. This looks like comforts, no. Oh, it is too close for comfort. No. No, it's almost that. Dangerously near. So something, oh. No. So something is missing from the puzzle or from these answers, and that's what's being described in this clue. Maybe we're taking something out. Too close for comfort. Oh, is it close for comforts? In other words, we've pluralized this and there are 2 of them? I don't know. I think that might be wrong. You see what I was trying to do there, though. I was sort of wondering maybe this is referencing the phrase too close for comfort, meaning we have pluralized close for comforts, but it doesn't really quite work. I don't think it's right. Film character whose lines were all bleeped out. I don't know, some sort of robot. Oh, R2-D2? Oh, this is a 2. R2. How do we spell this then? T-O? That wouldn't really make any sense. Or maybe the D-E then a 2? So, close for comfort 2? So what does this mean? So we've taken the 2, we've put it at the end of the clue, we've removed it from the beginning. So that somehow we will receive the instruction to perform this operation here. But I can't immediately see it. If you can, well done, but I'm not quite there yet. Take over, not retake, because take is already in the clue. Word after big or go. Big ape or go ape. There we go. Retape? Oh, I see. You do another take on videotape, for instance, or audio tape. You do another take. In other words, you do another attempt to capture a performance. So retape, like a controversial political issue, maybe. Okay. So presumably there's a 2 at the beginning of this rather than at the end. So 2... I don't know. Oh, too hot to handle? Yeah, that must be it. Okay, like a controversial political issue. I suppose you could say that about a political issue. So this must be Encino after that. And then made a fast break after breakfast. Say, ate and ran or something? God of fertility, Eros. Oh, that makes sense. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. Ate and ran. Blank Cherry, singer with the 1988 hit Buffalo Stance. Oh, this is vaguely familiar. It'll be familiar to me, but not familiar enough to get it without seeing the clauses. Nera or something? I don't know. Moderates or moderates. Eases, maybe. Oops. So in the verb form, it could be eases. One side of a sheet, so maybe it is a page. So Pac-Man, the video game character, all right, or the video game itself. And then Hartsfield-Jackson Airport Code, it was Atlanta. And one-time auto replaced by the Chevrolet Aveo. Oh, Geo was a General Motors brand, I think, of car. I kind of vaguely remembered existing in the 90s. And then it was, destroyed. Geo Metro? I think that might have been what one of them was called. Or maybe the only one. I don't know if there were more than one Geo model. Some people are men. Oh, Nina Cherry? That sounds right, actually. Give me a moment. But maybe it's spelled this way. One sec. Iron Range Hall. Ore? That must be a seam of ore. The Iron Range, iron ore. And then deal breaker is a no-no. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. No goodnik. No goodnik is a rot. Could you describe someone as a rot? You're a total rot. You're a no goodnik. That sounds plausible, I suppose. Needs to be corrected. I know, maybe not. A rat. That sounds better. Rot sounded plausible, but rat sounds actually correct. And then needs to be corrected, errs. So she needs to be corrected, she errs. She commits an error. And then deal breaker is, a narcotics officer. Someone who sort of intervenes in a drug deal. Okay, there we go. Trendy and overconfident, slangily. This will presumably have a 2 at the end. Let's just see if that works down here. You're darn tootin'. There we go. All right. So we have part of the theme figured out, and it's this sort of transposition and numericization of the two. Trendy and overconfident, slangily. Too cool for school? Yes, there we go. That's that. Candied fruit or nuts are... I don't know. The way per 48 down, and 48 down is a noted ancient philosopher. Lao Tzu, maybe? Watergate, maybe with an S. Sluice, I've seen it spelled both ways. Great respect, esteem. Okay, this is looking correct. Animal, I'm looking at the sort of short answers here because they're easier to get. Animal that might make a water slide to play on. An otter sounds like it would do that sort of thing. Very playful creatures in that way. Big feller. Oh, an ape? A big ape? Maybe not. We already sort of had this in the... Yeah, no, it won't be that. Big feller. Oh, an axe. A feller. I see. Big feller. You'd think it means a kind of, in a backwoods sense, he's a big feller, but in fact, as is clued by this question mark, we're using this in a punny sort of way, and actually referring to something that fells a tree, so an axe literally fells a tree. All right, praises, extols the virtues of somebody. Scram, you could yell, scram to yell. Get out. Right, and this was all so that I could fill in Tao here. There we go. So that's the way, Tao, the way, literally. And then goats cry, a goat cries ba or ma, maybe, depending on your interpretation. Candied fruits or nuts. Comfort? I know we already have comfort in the grid anyway, so that's especially not going to be the answer. Why can I not see what this is? Cob. I don't know. Frequent word before x equals blank. Let x equal, right, for the purpose of a I don't know, a mathematical proof or demonstration or something, you could start with let x equal, some value, and then you proceed. Juice blank birthright citizenship. Solely or something like that. Necklace made from natural materials. A lei is a flower garland necklace. Triple platinum 1991 Hammer album. Too legit to quit. With the 2, there we go. All right. And what was I looking at? Yes, it was solely birthright citizenship. Okay. Which I think that basically means sort of right of the ground, basically, sort of, you're right by the land to which you're born. Candied fruit or nuts. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous that I can't seem to see this. Confit? Are they confits? Nah, goats cry. I don't know. It's so strange that I can't seem to see that. Do I have something else wrong? I don't know. I want this to be M or B. Okay. Let's see. What have I not seen? Oh, I haven't seen this. Prefix with classical. You could have neoclassical. Send to a terrible fate to doom somebody. Self-referential could be meta, as in metatextual, or I don't know, meta-referential or something. Board hiree in brief. A corporate board could hire a CEO, a chief executive officer. They check out people who check in brief. The TSA at an airport. What was this again? Romantic music genre originating in the Dominican Republic. I don't recognize this. It's funny. These 2 sort of central clues are just escaping me entirely for some reason. We'll keep going. Common caviar source, sturgeon, I think is sort of officially what caviar is. Sturgeon roe. Mouth puckering, something sour would be mouth puckering. Dutch astronomer with an eponymous cloud, the Oort cloud, astrological object with the very sort of somehow appropriately astrological sounding name somehow. A fad, something that's the fad, could be a rage, it's all the rage, it's a big fad. Reservations, you could have qualms about something, be reserved about it, not fully on board. Novelist Wiesel with the Nobel Peace Prize, Elie Wiesel. Food often served in bed. Rice, in the sense of a sort of bed of rice. Yes, a bed of rice is often how some meals are served. And then, too little, too late is not enough and without the urgency. How did I not think of that? Not enough and without the urgency to make a difference, or a literal hint to 18, 30, 38, and 48 across. So we have had the too little, too late. So I see, so little too, I suppose, meaning the number rather than spelled out. So the 2 in a single character is littler than had we spelled it out, TWO, and then it's too late because it's coming too late in the phrase to be accurate. It's coming at the end of the phrase. There we go. So what about this one? Pro tem, as in President pro tem, for instance. And then Sicilian skiing spot. Etna, do you ski down Mount Etna? Some compound gases are monoxides, maybe? Alley-oop, yeah, that looks right. Just like that. Snap your fingers to say just like that. Okay, so this all looks correct, I think. And here we have place for a screwdriver is a toolbox. Very good. All right, so this is sort of a traditional rebus style thing, not a rebus in the sense of putting multiple letters. Oh, but maybe we are meant to be putting multiple letters in here, actually. Because this 2, as in too legit to quit, is the same form of 2 that matches toolbox. Right, these are all TOO, not TWO. Sorry, I I think I completely got that wrong. So it is still too little in the sense that we have to make the word, the letters a smaller size in order to fit in the grid. I think it was because I was solving this R2-D2 and I thought maybe the sort of character droid, the droid character's name would be, would have numbers in it, but I think actually we're meant to spell out TOO. Sorry about that if you've been wondering why I didn't see that. I think it's correct now. All right, so central, mid maybe, or do some basic arithmetics to add numbers together. Central, so maybe it is mid, and then stereotypical product for a kid's first entrepreneurial endeavor, a lemonade stand, or lemonade would be the product itself, the stand being the business. Prohibition could be a ban on something, and singer Zane, not sure. This looks like almond, though. Yes, almond flour, macaron ingredient. Okay. So that explains this. Baccata, which is sort of what I wanted it to be, but I really wasn't certain. And then this must be comfits, what? Candied fruit or nuts. That must be the answer. I'm going to put it in last. Fortified tower and singer Zane. This looks like it could be Malik, maybe? I don't know. I mean, that's a name. Bit of merch, a t-shirt, bit of merchandise. In particular, abbreviated could be especially. Oh, fortified tower of a castle could be a keep. So this does look like Malik. And then we're going to go put in our M here, and there we go. All right, so that'll be, we'll have a few for the comments from yesterday's puzzle tomorrow, to be sure. In any case, good. I'm glad I saw the. I wonder if it would have accepted the number 2. Probably not, because that does actually seem incorrect in retrospect. It was my first thought because of this R2-D2 thing, but it makes much more sense this way. So I'm glad I caught that before submitting the puzzle. We have our too little, too late when we put a little too late in these phrases. So we have too close for comfort after being reverse engineered, too hot to handle, too cool for school, and too legit for to quit, all of which are, all of which we modified to be too little, too late. And a very clever puzzle by Robin Yu. I think a good solid Thursday puzzle in the sense that it was a kind of a funny thing that required a bit of lateral thinking in order to understand what was going on with the theme. And then actually, in my case, it took yet another leap after having to correct an initial incorrect assumption. And there we go. That was the Thursday crossword. Definitely gave me some trouble here and there, especially with these symmetrically disposed vertical answers here. And then I think there were other things. I think in general, some of these theme clues took me some time. It was a bit of a struggle at moments, but not ever in a way that I think is dramatically unfair. Here are cases where simply my existing sort of vocabulary or body of knowledge was not quite up to the task. And that is often what happens in the crossword. In any case, that was today, the debut puzzle by Robin Yu for Thursday. And now, speaking of clues from yesterday's puzzle, let's look at a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. Looks like we have 4. So Nix Hicks explains bolster pillows are long, narrow, tube-shaped pillows. That makes sense from yesterday's puzzle. And Nix Hicks also points out that Sierra literally means saw, the tool, bringing to mind how the peaks and valleys of a mountain range remind one of the teeth of a saw blade. That's very interesting, hence the usage of Sierra to refer to a mountain range. George Steele points out that the 6th man in basketball and the 12th man in football refer to the home team crowd giving the home team advantage, but then Stephen Giblin chimes in to say, in the specific context of the clue, referring to the 6th man award, the 6th man, in that case, is the best substitute player coming off the bench. So I just thought I'd read both of those because the whole thing gives some interesting context. And George Steele acknowledges Stephen Giblin's correction there. And finally, Sfumato confirms that indeed, as I was wondering, swimming does come first in a triathlon. And Brian points out if the swim didn't come first, you could imagine a whole crowd of people changing into their wetsuits as quickly as possible. And if you've ever gotten into a wetsuit, you'd know how embarrassing it is to be doing so. And then Sfumato adds as well, I guess there's also the fact that if the swim came last, you'd risk exhaustion in water, far more dangerous than in the running stage on pavement. Those are both fair points. So thank you for that. And those are the clues from yesterday's crossword. I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday puzzle when we dispense with these silly themes and get on to nothing but solving, just straight clues all throughout the grid, although often with some misdirection. Join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.